All have a visual field of less than 20 degrees.
So let's now move back to the field events taking place.
The F20 long jump. And that looks to be a decent jump.
That's Mikela RISTOSKI of Croatia, her first jump there.
I think she had a little bit more to use on the board. We'll wait and see the replay.
Well, she certainly did, but that doesn't matter because that there is 5.29. Will put her into the lead after the first round. So there is confirmation of the standings after the first round. RISTOSKI in 5.29. KUCHARCZYK of Poland, 5.18. And Minakova of Russia, 5.15.
So now the women's long jump is continuing, and this is Karolina KUCHARCZYK. We're into the second round. Her first attempt of 5 meters 18, putting her in second place behind Mikela RISTOSKI of Croatia. Very long competition, this 15 in it, and she didn't use the board at all there. Now she might have given away 25 centimeters, maybe more. 5 meters 13. Do you know what? I think that was probably a longer leap than the one that has Mikela RISTOSKI in the lead on 5.29. But 5.13, she's in second place. So now Piroska CSONTOS of Hungary, 4.59 in the opening round. She's in 9th place. 4.74, her lifetime best set this year. And even if she'd equal that, she'd still be in 9th place. Again, the board wasn't really used at all. This the T20, it's the intellectual category, by the way, so there are only 3 events per gender. Well, 4.73, very close to a lifetime best, couple of centimeters out, and she stays in 9th place. Next up, Aleksandra RUCHKINA of Russia. Again, 4.72 is her lifetime best. She's come up with a 4.76 today. Negligible win there. It's very interesting. There hasn't been a single attempt which would have been ruled out by a strong wind over +2 so far. But on the track, we've had quite a few of those. Not sure if that's going to be much of an improvement on 4.76 for her.
Ladies and gentlemen,
used again. RISTOSKI is our leader, and she is the reigning European champion. That's 4 meters 81, and she stays in 8th place. So back to the T20 women's long jump, and this is Claudia SANTOS of Portugal, who's lying in 4th place. Lifetime best of 4.93, set in the first round. There are 3 Portuguese in this. She beat a lifetime best by 16 centimeters. That's an instant red flag. She was over the plasticine. And so no progress for her. She's only 18 centimeters away from the medals. Minakova of Russia is in 3rd place, 5 meters 15, and MOHAMAD ARIFFIN, Siti Noor MOHAMAD ARIFFIN, to give her a full name, of Malaysia. Asian record of 5.15, but in 4th place on countback. RISTOSKI, the European champion, leading at the moment with 5.29, and KUCHARCZYK, the world champion, defending world champion and world record holder from Lyon 2 years ago, 5.18 in the second round. We go into round 3 immediately. Minakova, the silver medalist from last year from Russia, and again that looked to be over the plasticine, and it's a red flag for her. 5 meters 15 and 4.88, and now a foul. But that 4.88 is what has her in 3rd place on count back, ahead of the Malaysian, as they both leapt 5.15 so far. No real problems you'll see with the wind gauge down there today. They're obviously a somewhat shielded part of the stadium.
Because if you look up there towards the flags, you can definitely see that there is a wind in Doha tonight, but the stadium seems to be blocking it quite well.
Shoulders, arms, and hands.
So no joy for Minakova on that occasion. And now Erica Gomez in a spot of bother here. 2 fouls already, and she needs 481 to get into 8th place and of 3 final jumps. And Gomez is a 497 jumper. Normally, that's a red flag, and she's out. 3 fouls, and the technique has just let her down. And the days like
foul
that
coming up here, yes.
Oh, good grief. Yep, afraid so.
Three fouls displayed on the screen. And she'll be going home.
And that is her out of the competition. Among the favourites is Mikela RISTOSKI, European champion, bronze in the Worlds in Lyon 2 years ago. And in London 2012, and she used the board very well. That's the difference in technique. Leading 5:29 in the opening round, a foul in the second. Also a bronze for her in the previous Europeans in Stadskanaal in the Netherlands in 2012. They have quite a few parasport events there. Although I remember speaking to Malu van Rijn the day before competition started, I don't think she's ever run there, despite all the events they stage there. She's been successful elsewhere. RISTOSKI has been very successful here and throughout her career. KUCHARCZYK at one stage, by the way, was the reigning European, World and Paralympic champion. But RISTOSKI has the European crown now. 5:06 for RISTOSKI, and she remains in a lead of 11 centimeters ahead of the Paralympic and World champion KUCHARCZYK. Norkelys Gonzalez of Venezuela next to go. 382 in the first round, and she's a 493 jumper, and that would get her into the top 8. And that's a foul, I'm sure it is. 2 fouls for her, and she is down in 13th place. She won't progress anymore. Well into the plasticine again, I'm afraid.
An interesting point for the T and F20 classes is that they tried to choose events that are more technical, as the athletes do not have a physical disability, but this is the class for intellectual disabilities. The technical aspects of the long jump being quite difficult to master.
So here she comes, Karolina KUCHARCZYK, the world champion, the Paralympic champion. Good distance, don't think she used the board much. 6:09 in Lyon, and where well, now she's having big complaints there with the officials. I don't think she used the board. 5:18 and 5:13 she's produced so far, and that leap of 6:09, I remember it was around lunchtime on a Friday in Lyon, right in the open. It was absolutely baking, and it was decided that our commentary shift would come to an end early, not by me. So I just sat and watched, but it was absolutely baking there. All of the crowd were sat underneath the trees in what was a very, very picturesque stadium. 5:01 for KUCHARCZYK. No improvement. Kamanyu of Macau, a Chinese dependency. 362 her best so far. Used the board absolutely perfectly. Well, 366 is her best. Well, that's consistency anyway.
Let's go back to the women's long jump T20 final.
عندما سجلت 23-0-3 ونالت ايضا الميداليه الذهبيه انجاز غير مسبوق 23-0-3 بينما كانت الميداليه الفضيه من طرف
We're still in round 3 and there are 15 jumping in this, so they're still jostling for medals and still jostling for the top 8.
So ARIFFIN of Malaysia. New Asian record in her first jump. That one there hasn't improved on the 5:15, so 4:83, and she stays in 4th position.
So these are the 8 progressing to the final 3 attempts in the women's long jump, the T20. And it's RISTOSKI, the reigning European champion and former world champion from 2011 at Christchurch, who leads. KUCHARCZYK behind her in 2nd place at the moment, the current reigning Paralympic and European champion. These are the athletes who will not make it, including Erica GOMES. So now into the 4th round of the women's long jump, the T20. We're past the midway point, and this is Piroska CSONTOS of Hungary, lifetime best of 4:86, coming in round 3. And that getting her in the top 8 ahead of RUCHKINA, Russia in the end. A solid leap. No real problem on the board. Used it quite well. Feet straight forward. Some will just propel them to the side to get a little bit of further distance. That's 4:87. It improves her lifetime best. She stays in 8th place. Santos won't leap above her current position, but she's on fire. The feet of Claudia SANTOS of Portugal, who did make it here in the end, despite 2 fouls. 4:93, a lifetime best. Santos had been on 4:77. It's a lifetime best set earlier this year going into the competition. Now she improves by 23 centimetres, 22 centimetres even. She would go into the medals, use the board quite well. That'll be around 5 meters again. And if she hits 5:15, which is what Minakova and MOHAMAD ARIFFIN are on, she would go into 3rd and count back.
Looking to break the 5-meter barrier for the first time.
Been a series of lifetime bests for her. And you know what? She has done exactly that. It is exactly 5:15. And on count back, she goes into 3rd ahead of Minakova and MOHAMAD ARIFFIN, who've also left 5:15. So now, ROZDOBUDKO of Ukraine, so congested. Has she used the board well? Looked like it. 4:96, her best so far. Down in 8th place. Has she used the board quite well? 5:19, her lifetime best. 5:18, and she goes into 3rd place. ROZDOBUDKO goes top 3 and into the medals. So now KUCHARCZYK lying in 2nd place in the women's long jump T20. KUCHARCZYK, 5:18, her best so far. Reigning Paralympic and world champion, has got a good distance there. RISTOSKI 5:29 in the first round. Didn't really use the board a huge amount there at all, KUCHARCZYK. But she's got out a good distance, the world record holder and defending champion, London 2012 champion. She's been playing second fiddle for a lot, but no more. She's in the lead, 5 meters 55 to RISTOSKI's 5:29. And here is RISTOSKI now with a fourth round attempt. Well, she's seen herself knocked down by that excellent 5:67 by KUCHARCZYK, European champion, world champion 2011, and a few bronzes behind KUCHARCZYK in between. Again, board used well. Good launch. She's improved. I think she knows that. And looks around the same range as KUCHARCZYK. KUCHARCZYK with the 5:55. Oh, the reaction says a lot because it's 5:52. And she's 3 centimeters down and she lies still now in second place. So now Olena ROZDOBUDKO, the 5th round, 5 meters 18. She's managed to elbow her way up, and that's around the same mark, I think. Whole bank of athletes, 3 centimeters behind her, MINAKOVA, SANTOS and MOHAMAD ARIFFIN. Hadn't effort above 5 meters prior to that 5:18. MINAKOVA's had 3. She's in 4th place. And the Ukrainian will stay in 3rd. Again, it was a very, very good mark by her. 5 meters 22 is actually a lifetime best for her by 3 centimeters, 5:18 in the last round. So now KUCHARCZYK, who will always be jumping ahead of RISTOSKI. 5:55 in round 4 to lead by 3 centimeters. Met the board well, and that's heading out towards 6 meters. That's a lot more like it from the Paralympic and world champion and world record holder. And couldn't have used the board any better. KUCHARCZYK. Not involved in the shake-up in Swansea, won the 3 previous major championships prior to that. Europeans in the Netherlands in 2011, London 2012 and Lyon 2013. And that's a further lead, an extra 12 centimeters. 5:67 and her lead improves. So RISTOSKI, pressure's really on now. 15 centimeters behind KUCHARCZYK. Always a great battle between these two. Gold and silver normally divided between these two fine athletes, and that's a good distance out. Now, has she pulled it off again? Looked in the last round as if she might have overtaken KUCHARCZYK and fell 3 centimeters down. That again looks around the same mark. Gave a couple of centimeters away. .563, she's 4 centimeters down. And yet again, for the second round in a row, there's been major improvement from her opponent, and she's come incredibly close. This is how it stands with 1 round to go. KUCHARCZYK in the gold medal position, 5:67. RISTOSKI next, 5:63, then a bit of a gap. And ROZDOBUDKO of Ukraine is in 3rd place.
Well, time to move now back to the women's long jump T20 competition. It is Claudia SANTOS with her final attempt. 5:15, a personal best, leaving her in 5th position. That's a fair jump from the Portuguese. It's legal. The only thing is, hasn't beaten her jump in round 4 of 5:15. Well, the coach is happy. She's happy. It's 5:14, but she's still got that personal best of 5:15. She sits in 5th position.
So, final round of the women's long jump T20. Kristina MINAKOVA of Russia, 5 meters 50. In the 5th round her best. An improvement of 8 centimeters required to get past ROZDOBUDKO of Ukraine. That might not be it. And hanging around the 5-meter mark, she's been very consistent. Her worst jump 4.88, her best 5.15. Used the board well, so really gave nothing away. Silver in the Europeans last year. All Europeans in front of her right now in the medal positions. 4.89, and MINAKOVA finishes in 4th place. So now Karolina KUCHARCZYK going in the final round and on the way potentially to glory. 5.67 in round 5, but RISTOSKI still to go. RISTOSKI was leading at halfway, so she has the right to jump last. And used the board perfectly well, did Karolina KUCHARCZYK. At the moment on the way to a 4th major title. But can she seal the deal? 5.67 impressive, 5.65 almost equally so. Beaming, rightly so. She's in pole position and she'll know in 30 seconds whether the world title will be hers once more. The last time she was beaten in a World Championship final was by this woman, Mikela RISTOSKI of Croatia, in 2011. RISTOSKI, 5.63 in the last round, 4 centimeters short. Needs to now improve by 5 centimeters to claim gold for Croatia. Here she comes. The pathway to glory, maybe. That might not be enough. She knows it herself. It will be silver for RISTOSKI. The European champion has to play second fiddle on a world basis tonight, and KUCHARCZYK gets the gold, and she gave a good bit away. Not sure in terms of this jump whether it matters or not, because I think it's too far down anyway in order for KUCHARCZYK to be toppled. RISTOSKI closes with 5 meters 16. KUCHARCZYK gets the gold for Poland. RISTOSKI silver for Croatia, and ROZDOBUDKO gets the bronze for Ukraine. That's how they finished. It was a lifetime best for ROZDOBUDKO. She's on the podium. MINAKOVA, SANTOS, and MOHAMAD ARIFFIN also close. The latter with an Asian record, and the Argentine TERUZZI with a South American one.